The team over at Bardown just put out a graphic yesterday where they asked, what is one word that best describes each NHL team heading into the next regular season? And looking at all the words that we can choose from and the 32 clubs, there's some pretty interesting takes and some words that I would choose for some clubs that I'm not sure all of you guys are going to be agreeing with right now. Starting off with Anaheim, I gotta say we're probably starting this off with embarrassed. Now, heading over to Boston, I gotta say I'm going with the word patient here. They had a run of 15 years. Next 7 to 10 years, you don't really need to be doing much other than tanking, trying to get great picks. Buffalo, I would say probably embarrassed. It would be the best word to choose from. Now, Calgary here, this is an interesting one. I would say worried. It seems like they have one really good run of the year, and then the next year they're just shit in the bed. I would say worried might be the sentiment here. Now, Carolina, I've always thought have been like the biggest frauds, more so even than the Leafs. Carolina, I gotta say fucking, I don't know, stressed, shocked maybe. Like stressed, like once again, everything from the Rantanen trade to like not really bolstering their team. Got question marks in the goaltending area there as well. Really don't know what kind of fucking mixed bag that Carolina is going to be bringing. Outside that the division isn't that great, so people always build them as like a top 3 team in the fucking East to make it. Chicago, I don't know what to do with Chicago this year. I'd say, maybe encouraged. Hopefully like Bedard just takes a step this year. Columbus, I would say Columbus would probably be stressed. Not really sure what's going to be going on with Columbus. Are they going to be like a sub, 20 team this year again? I just don't know what we're getting out of Columbus. Avalanche, I gotta say, I'm just excited about the team. Like, ever since the Rantanen trade and like the additions that they brought in from that trade and at the deadline, like I'm excited about what the Avalanche have to offer. With the Dallas Stars here, I think hopeful. I think that's probably like a good word that probably describes them right now. They're a lock for the playoffs, probably in the top 3 contention on the West. Detroit, I would say fucking laughable. I would say Yzerman's plan is very much what happened with Shanahan. Just, it's deplorable. Don't know what the fuck's going on there. Love what they're doing with the Centennial stuff and like kind of bringing back to the roots, but just don't know what I'm getting with Detroit. Edmonton, now this is the fucking shocker, man. I would say disappointed, anxious, vengeful, stressed, worried, disappointed, shocked. You don't know what the fuck you're doing with your captain. You don't know what the fuck you're doing with your team. You have no idea what the fuck is going to be happening this year. And let me tell you, Connor is fucking leaving. I've been saying this shit for more than a fucking year. Look back at my videos. Connie is coming fucking home, baby. Panthers, like, dude, enthusiastic, hopeful, content. These guys are the pillar of fucking consistency. Kings, this is interesting with Kopitar's, retirement coming up right now. I gotta say, I'm excited to see what the Kings are gonna be doing this year. I just love what they're doing. They've got young guys coming up as well. I really don't think that they're that far removed from like adding 1 or 2 or 3 pieces that kind of solidify what they're doing. So, love the Kings. Minnesota, I would say anxious. Kind of don't know what you got with them. Kind of a mixed bag. Now, Montreal Habs. I've never been a fucking Habs fan. Love talking shit about the Habs. I love the move. I love the development of what they've been doing here last year. Montreal is just on such a great fucking hockey stick curve effect. They are trending in the fucking right direction. I'd say optimistic, impressed, encouraged, enthusiastic. Like, I'm very excited about where the Habs are in the next 1 to 5 years. And if they keep making the right moves and St. Louis keeps developing great players, they're going to be a fucking force to be reckoned with in like, I don't know, 2-3 years, dude. Nashville, fucking disappointed, laughable. The Devils here, fuck, man, like, Devils are just kind of like this weird, like, I'll be 11th or 12th in the fucking league, and, we're going to say that we're hopeful, but there's always, like, 1 or 2 or 3 injuries. I would say they're kind of, like, angry and vengeful. Like, they have to make up for, like, shortcomings in the past. Islanders, I would say, is, like, fuck, man. I think that I'd say they're probably in, like, the optimistic right now. You know, from Schaefer and the young guys in there, hopefully guys can take like the next step. They're probably a bubble team. Don't know really if they're going to be making it on like kind of like the wild card, so to speak, or on that bubble. So like really interesting to see what's going to be happening with the Islanders this year. And same thing with like Mike, the head coach coming into like the Rangers. I don't know, Rangers. I'm fucking worried, dude. No idea what the fuck's going on with the Rangers this year. Ottawa, man, that's tough. I would say Ottawa out of this whole list. I would want them to be patient. Like they have been patient. I'd say probably anxious also comes into this. Like, are they gaining another like 5 or 6 or 7 points in the standings this year that can, you know, they're not last in the wild card or last in that kind of like bubble spot. Now Philadelphia, I think you got to think like they're being patient right now. You know, don't have to go out and make any crazy moves. Just continue to do what they're doing, develop within. Pittsburgh, you know, this is laughable. And I just hope Crosby gets out and he's able to go to a team where he can actually play in the playoffs and potentially win another Stanley Cup. So laughable for the Pens. Now for the Sharks, man, I am fucking excited. Like Celebrini going into his next year, they have such a great young core. Like I pegged these guys in like my kind of hot takes before the season that these guys could be, you know, these guys can easily make it into that bubble team. I think they're gonna make that wild card. I think it's gonna be they're gonna, and I know I keep saying wild card like it's the fucking, you know, major leagues right now. I'm just so focused on baseball, but I really think that they're going to be one of those bubble teams that could actually make the fucking playoffs this year. They stole a hell of a lot of games from great elite teams last year. Having that one extra year of confidence is going to go a long way. Kraken, I would say Kraken is probably going to be, you know, hopeful. They're going to feel hopeful. The Blues, I would say the Blues are, you know, out of this. I'd say they're worried. Right? Worried might be the right fit here. You know, do you ship off Kyrou? You know, are there guys that you're wanting to bring in here? I just think that there's a lot of question marks with this team. You're not sure what you're going to be doing. Now, for the Lightning, I would say Lightning are just going to try to just be content. You know, they're always like second or third in the fucking, you know, division. They're always in the playoffs. It's just like, is this another year where Vasilevsky takes that, you know, gets back to normal form, or is he going to shit the bed for 4 or 5 months and then have great 2 or 3 months? So I'd say content right now. Leafs, I think that they're, I don't want to be like the recency bias or anything like that with them being my team. But with the Leafs, I got to say, like, I'm feeling, out of all of this, I would say enthusiastic and probably encouraged. I think it's encouraging to see what they're doing, you know, post-Marner. No black clouds hanging over this team. I think they're feeling pretty loosey and goosey right now heading into the season. I think they've just got like one question mark that can be on the right wing with Matthews, which we'll figure out either now or via trade in like 2 months. But I think things are feeling pretty good there. The Mammoth, I think, once again, just being patient. Now, Vancouver, dude, like, this is a game changer. Like, they're just so fucked right now. I would say embarrassed, disappointed. Like, there's so many you can choose here. Anxious, vengeful, like, with all the locker room drama that happened last year. So much fucking shit going on in Vancouver. Vegas, I would say Vegas is probably feeling optimistic right now, you know, like since bringing in Marner. You know, I know you have some questions there on back end and, you know, losing a couple guys there as well, but, you know, I think they're feeling pretty optimistic. Washington, I would say Washington's got to be feeling, you know, I think content, but I think they're also stressed. You know, there's nothing to really chase this year. So is there a lot of motivation? You know, Ovi just turning 40 or 40, 42 or 40. I think 40. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what, you know, their focus is for this year and what they're driving towards. And then Winnipeg, I got to say, I don't know. I just feel like this is a team that's feeling anxious